Yeah, and they still kept it in the remake. Although I don't know where the character is here on this version for Thief, because I don't know Japanese well enough to figure out the Thief character. The the chamber dungeons in the remake was... The one thing I don't like about chamber dungeons is the fact that it's required for 100% in order to get all the rewards. Like, aside from that, I do like the concept of it, but yes, I do wish that it had more to it, like, probably just as much as Mario Maker. Like, if you could actually, like, play other people's dungeons, that would actually be really cool. What? Dude, it's all because I got hit. Otherwise, you would have eaten that flower. Dude, are you serious? That's not... foot pedal? I've never really considered using a foot pedal, because I've always used keyboard to split. Most games that I run don't require me to react fast on the split button, so a foot pedal was never really needed for me. The other reason I haven't considered a foot pedal is because I would need to actually buy a USB hub for my laptop, because I only have 3 USB ports on this computer, and I'm using all 3 USB ports right now. One for my mouse, the other one for my mic, and the other one for my controller. So I'm playing the game right now on my monitor, and I have everything else on my laptop screen right now. 14? Jesus Christ. I could invest into a desktop. I've thought about actually investing into a desktop before. Well, at the time, I just didn't really get one because in my old setup, I didn't have any good place to place my actual desktop. So if I get a desktop now, I would actually have a decent spot for it here in this room. Obviously, I need to fund for it too. What the heck just happened? I just saw my laptop black screen on the corner of my eye for like a split second. The Acorn of Doom. I never considered it like that before. I really wish in the remake that Guardian Acorn and Piece of Power were more useful, because I like the 3-hit system that they work off of in this game. I don't really like the fact that in the remake they only last for like 30 seconds. Okay, Bow Wow, you're eating a little bit too much here. Are you kidding me? Yes. Bow Wow count towards your kill count for Piece of Power. So in case you're wondering, I'm trying to pause on the same frame. Like, I was on the frame where Link falls, but the reason it took me so many buffers to actually get Bill Skip anyway is because even if you get the frame that Link is supposed to fall down, there's a global frame rule where it's 50% whether Link actually falls down or not. So I got the frame, but I lost the coin flip 7 times. But yeah, Bo is very powerful, which is why it's very worth stealing it early on. Unfortunately, in the remake, that's not so much the case because Bo got like extremely nerfed. Dude, imagine how much easier LAS would be had they not, if they didn't nerf every item. Yes, Boomerang is also nerfed. Like, Boomerang does not one-shot Deathel anymore. Oh yeah, I love particularly Seasons. I like Seasons. Ages is good too, but I have more nostalgia with Seasons. Oh, that was a gold? Oh my goodness. So Brochure World is hot. I'm gonna have to disagree with that. Marin greater than every other waifu, except for Twilight Princess Zelda. Twilight Princess Zelda is very waifu. Well, actually, no, that's very arguable with between Twilight Princess Zelda and Wind Waker Zelda. I like Rosa. Rosa's pretty waifu in Seasons. Okay. Nice. Good try. Thanks, Guy. So it's funny, right after I was done streaming on Saturday, I wanted to walk my dog. And I can tell if my dog needs to be walked because he would sit by the front door. And so I saw him sitting by the front door right after I was done streaming on Saturday. And so I decided to take him for a walk. Now normally, my mom or my stepdad takes him for a walk. So I grabbed the leash, he saw me grab the leash, but then he decided to go to my mom instead when he saw me grab the leash. And then my dog was like grabbing onto my mom and barking at her because he wanted her to walk him instead of me. And he just kept running away from me whenever I'm trying to put the leash on him. I thought it was hilarious because what's the difference between me walking him and her walking him? But yeah, eventually we got the leash on him, took him for a walk, and what he likes to do sometimes is he doesn't do this all the time, but sometimes he'll just like lay in the grass or on the sidewalk because he really likes the sun. So he'll just sit and lay on the ground in order to like get some sunlight. And he does this every morning, actually. Every morning inside the house, he will place his bed in the spot where the sun is shining through the window, and then he'll just like lay there. In the early days that I had my dog, he broke the collar that we gave him. He doesn't like collars. Sometimes he does not like a leash being on him. And then he also does not like hats. My brother got him a pumpkin hat a couple years ago, and we put it on him a couple times, and he did not like it. Every single time that we put the hat on him. Whenever we put the hat on him, he tries to shake it off on him, and then basically chew up the hat. The hat's not chewed up or broken, but he'll try to do that. Yep, and it wasn't gonna work. Come on! I can't do this. Oh my god. I don't plan to come back to LA until there's a different rule set for LA. No, because in LA, you can dupe items, which completely defeats the purpose of 100%, because you're not actually getting the items, which is not very exciting at all. Okay. Wait, what? Wait. I heard myself fall down and I didn't fall down? That's insane. No, because in LADX we have pictures and color dungeon. So you wouldn't have to go out of your way to like go to spots where you get pictures, and then also you don't have to go to the color dungeon at all. Also, no Jesus jumps, which I guess isn't really much of a problem. But I don't know. I guess I'm the minority. Oh, ghost skip too. Yeah, because you don't need to do the ghost quests. I like overslept, and by overslept I mean that I slept more than I like to sleep. I slept for like 9 hours, which I guess is a good thing. Like, I woke up in the morning and I was like super tired. It was like 7 AM. Like, because I was still tired at 7 AM, I decided to just go back to sleep. And then I woke up and it happened to be 9. And I was like, oh shoot, well I better wake up. Normally I sleep for like 8 hours. So I went to bed at like 12 last night, which means that I expect myself to wake up at 8. But I woke up at 9 this time. I feel like it's much easier to sleep during the winter time when everything's all cold and that you have like really warm blankets. Like that blanket behind me that you see right there, that's the blanket that I use every winter. It's really huge and it's like super warm, really thick. So it always makes me sleep comfortably during cold nights. And so, because it's like super warm, I almost never want to leave my bed. Just because how warm it is. But then like, when middle of spring and summer comes, when like the days are hot, it's like much harder to sleep. It does not snow in Sacramento. Yeah, we don't get snow in Sacramento. It's only like some parts of California. And even then, it does not snow very often, like it does for some of the eastern states. I also feel bad for the people who live in like some of the eastern states though, because like when it's snowing, you have to wake up early just to shovel out all the snow that's in your way, and then like power goes out more often, and then the East Coast gets like blizzards or something like that. In San Francisco, the weather's consistently cool, just because San Francisco is like by a bunch of water, whereas in Sacramento, where it's like a lot of land, it gets pretty hot a lot of the time. And actually, lately we haven't gotten much rain, which is kind of a bad thing, because then like we don't get much water. There was a point where we were in a drought. I think we're not in a drought, but we're kind of, but like at the same time, would like to not be in that situation again, because there isn't really much we can do about whether or not we get into a drought or not, just because like we don't control the weather. It's just, if it happens, it happens. When we were in a drought, yes. It was, you couldn't wash your car, you couldn't water your grass, and then also like limit how much water you use from like showering / washing your hands. But there's no way water companies would keep track of that stuff. But if you wanted to wash your car, you would have to go to car washes instead of doing it at home. And some people prefer washing their car at home, like I do, because I don't have to pay like $3 or something like that to wash my car. Hear my dog giving my parents a hard time. A dog? He's a Japanese Chin Chihuahua. Oh! Okay, here's my dog right here. So yeah, he's a Japanese Chin Chihuahua. Right now he is 6 years old, soon about to be 7 next month. His name is Jay, and we've had him for 6 years. He's a very cute dog. He's sometimes not super smart. He doesn't bark a lot. There's only some things that he barks at. He'll bark for attention. He'll bark when he thinks he hears or sees something outside. He barks when he sees dogs, of course. I used to have a dog. He was a golden retriever. He was an outdoor dog. And he never barks at all. Which is the only dog that I know of that never barks. Like, he'll make crying noises, but like he never barks. But now we don't have him anymore. Oh yeah? What is making him bark? Oh, feeding him treats? Oh, okay. Tell him to speak? Oh. My girlfriend got a dog a couple months ago, and that dog is so wild. Like, it's a baby, so you know, of course it needs time to learn more about his own environment. Whenever I come over to her house, her dog goes extremely wild. Like, the dog will not stop running around. And he makes really funny noises too. Like, the noises the dog makes almost like sounds like he's actually talking to us. With big dogs, I'm very paranoid whenever big dogs like jump up at people, because I always feel like he's going to knock me over. Whereas if my dog jumps up, because he's so small, like, there's no way he can, like, knock me over. Like, I'm pretty paranoid with big dogs in general. What breed? Ooh. My girlfriend told me, but I don't actually remember. Right here. This is what her dog looks like. She told me a few times on what breed the dog is, but I don't remember off the top of my head on what she told me. And supposedly she said that this color that this dog is, the brown and white, is rare. And that most dogs of this breed is usually black and white. Although the dog is very bratty sometimes. I'm gonna have to ask her. Let me ask her. Like, right now. Border Collie! That's what it is. Okay. I remember her saying Border Collie. Yep. She confirmed it. It's Border Collie. You can tell I'm not very good at dog breeds. That dog has grown pretty attached to her, whereas my dog is pretty attached to my mom. My girlfriend always tells me that her family wants to take their dog over to like dog training so that the dog can be a little more calm and more well-behaved when the dog is around people. But it's like, I keep trying to tell her that like, oh, it'll be fine. The dog's still a puppy. It's still trying to learn its environment. Give it some time. This is not going to be a good Enter D1 time. You know, like give the dog time, at least a few months or something like that. My dog, when we first got him, I used to not like him because the dog was a puppy, and it was like he kept like chewing on a lot of things in the house. Some of it included my stuff. In fact, there was a point where he chewed on the wires of my capture card, and I was really upset. Of course, as he got older, he doesn't do that anymore. He only chews on, you know, his own toys. Yeah, he's cut down on a lot of things that he used to do. And we did not take the dog over to like training school or whatever. Yeah, oh no. They still work though. So I was lucky that he didn't chew them down like all the way. But I was still unhappy when I saw like chew marks on the wires. Although she did say that her dog hasn't been like neutered yet, so they still need to work on getting that for him. Oh really? He'd actually succeed in that? That's crazy. Usually dogs never succeed in catching their own tail. Trying not to get hit by the bat. I've never seen a bat in that weird location. Don't do it! Okay. When I was grinding for 55, I was like super consistent with Jesus jumps. Like I have to be actively playing this game for a while in order to be like in order to keep my consistency with Jesus jumps. Otherwise, like if I'm taking a break and then go back to it after like maybe a week or two or something like that, then I get like really bad Jesus escapes. And that's the same thing with 100%. 100% I have to always be playing 100% if I want to keep my consistency with 100%. My hands are starting to act up. Not really, but like it gets really tiring gripping onto my controller for long periods of time. Because I have big hands and a SNES controller is small, so gripping on it for 3 hours makes my hand feel less comfortable. Grind this game out for long periods of time like is very taxing for my hands. On top of like this game being extremely input heavy, while gripping onto a small controller, it makes my hands very taxing. Oh yeah, 100% especially. Like I cannot do 2 full hundo runs without feeling exhausted. Like I can do 2 no save and quit runs / 2 no woob runs, but if I do like 2 full hundo runs, it's extremely exhausting. Like for my mental capacity and for my hands. Oh yeah, my left thumb especially. I cannot fathom 8 hours of Link's Awakening. I can probably fathom it in the remake, because in the remake it's not as input heavy, and there's a lot more downtime in the remake. This version of LA, there's like almost no downtime. The only real downtime you get is the instrument cutscenes at the end of dungeons, the Mchan song at the Walrus cutscene, the egg cutscene, and then if you're running 100%, the songs. Oh yeah, and this cutscene too. I forgot about this, but this one's only like a few seconds though. So it's not really much of a downtime. I tried to... That sucks, man. I tried to catch that Goomba before it moved away. What? Are you serious? How did that not work? Okay, now I have to get the pickup. Oh my god, another one cycle. Oh god. I've never fell in the lava before while trying to get up to the heart piece. The heart container. Oh god. Yeah, I can't PB. That's a very rare opinion for you to say that you like D7 6 months ago? Oh wow. You don't stream that often? The most I've ever went without streaming at all is a month. Between 3.5 weeks is like the longest stretch that I've went without streaming at all. I've never taken more than a month off from streaming before. Out of the entirety of 7.5 years that I've streamed. I don't really watch very many streams. Most of the streams that I watch are usually my friends streaming something. It's funny, like, the other day, I got an email from Twitch giving me my 2020 recap. It shows like all your streaming stats and your watch history stats and like what emote you use, etc, etc. So I was looking through, and a lot of my stats in 2020 seems to be fairly accurate with a few oddities. I posted about it on Twitter. So here's the first one. You get 2 of these. So here's the first one right here. This one shows how many like chat messages I've sent throughout all the streams I've watched. 4,000 seems correct-ish. I don't really know. My emote list is kind of lame. Yeah. Number of channel points, this seems about right. And then my top watch channels. Now, here's what's bizarre about this. I'm on this list for some reason, and the only reason I am on this list is because I always have my stream open whenever I'm streaming. Like, I will always have this open right here in order for me to know if I'm streaming. Because sometimes whenever I hit the stream button, it won't say that I'm live on my Twitch channel, even though it says I'm streaming on my streaming software. So I always have to have my Twitch channel open in order to make sure that I actually am streaming. Pokeguy and Gunner Maniac, these kind of make sense, because I tend to watch Pokemon speedruns on my free time, because Pokemon speedruns are pretty simple to watch, because like the only reason you see people reset in Pokemon speedruns is if they die. And so Pokeguy and Gunner Maniac being on the top watch channel right here, this is pretty accurate, because throughout 2020 I was watching Pokeguy grind Pokemon Yellow for a very long time. Like, every time Pokeguy was live for Pokemon Yellow, I was always watching. And then Gunner Maniac was streaming Pokemon Leaf Green. No, actually Fire Red. He was streaming Fire Red Round 2 at the time, and he was grinding at it for a pretty long time. And then later in the middle of the year, he went back to Leaf Green and was doing that. And so I was watching both these guys for a while. Alright, next we have this right here. Here's the other picture that you get. This one is your streaming stats. My top categories here. So we have supposed to be Pokemon Red and Blue, I think. I think it was Pokemon Red and Blue that this one's supposed to be. This one is New Super Mario Bros. U / Luigi U. And then this one's Link's Awakening. Now, these make sense if this was like my most streamed. Because obviously I stream New Super Luigi U and Link's Awakening both on a regular basis. But for Pokemon Red and Blue to be part of this list is kind of bizarre. If this was like my top categories of watch streams, then this is inaccurate. Because I haven't really seen anybody that I know stream New Super Mario Bros. U or New Super Luigi U. And then Link's Awakening, the only people I watch for Link's Awakening streams are usually Mighty Myth or Lime. And that's because those two are friends of mine. Well, Lime hasn't really been streaming Link's Awakening, and then Mighty, I've watched every once in a while, but I haven't stuck around to like watch like the entirety of his streams. Total hours watch, 1,406. It seems about right, because like I said, I don't watch streams very often. 91 followers, that sounds about right. And then total hours broadcasted, this seems about right, because there was a point. There were times in 2020 where I was taking extensive breaks. And 2020 has been the year where I've taken like probably the most amount of breaks from streaming. But yeah, this is my 2020 recap. Oh, those are my most streamed categories? Okay. If that's the case, then that probably makes sense. Because like I said, I stream New Super Luigi U quite frequently, and same with Link's Awakening. For Pokemon, I've only streamed Pokemon like towards the end of the year. So that's actually kind of strange that Pokemon happened to be part of my top categories. My first time speedrunning? Well, if you want to go super casual, then 2010 when I speedran Donkey Kong. If you want to go a little bit above that, then you could say that my first speedrun was technically Link to the Past. Well, even though it was technically my first speedrun, it was my first speedrun I started taking seriously. My first time in Link to the Past was back in 2012, but I was very on and off about it. Like, I didn't really run it much back then, because I wasn't really much of a speedrunner. I just did Link to the Past speedruns because it was fun. Like, at the time that I speedrun Link to the Past, I was a Brawl player, so I was playing a lot of Smash Bros. Brawl back then. But then I started taking Link to the Past seriously in, like, late 2015. The time that I got was like 348 on my first run in like 100%. If you want to talk about this game, I started learning in 2016, the summer of 2016, but then did my first run Christmas Eve 2017, and I got a 226. I think 226 sounds about right. But then I took LADX seriously in summer 2018, so you could technically say that I've been running for 2.5 years. It was last place. I couldn't be more happy than to claim the worst time of LADX in the world as my first run. But then I rose from last place to 10th place currently. I used to be 8th. When you get really good at this category, then the save and quit categories are just kind of bland. What is my target? Well, right now, sub 120 would be nice and 100%, but I don't know what my ultimate goal is. If I had to pick a game that I would like to run, it would either be Wind Waker HD, specifically, Link Between Worlds, or Oracle Seasons. The situation that I was in right there was I was either going to kill the blue guy and then get eaten by the like, or the blue guy was going to knock me into the like. So either way, I was going to get eaten by that like. This game's a big middle finger, honestly. Like if I play bad, this game goes in my favor and then if I play good, this game worked against my favor. I actually can't believe it. Like, I actually could have gold that if I didn't miss that cycle.